Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. We are inside Myshuno in 131221 Chic Street, I am pretty sure. I can see obviously the footage, but it's really tiny writing and even with my glasses on I just can't quite make it out. I'm pretty sure it's 131221 Chic Street, and I was browsing through Pinterest and for some reason I was just feeling really inspired to do an apartment build today, and so I was having a quick look and then I came across all of these incredibly beautiful kind of boho theme-esque style apartments that had like these super bright colors and like things didn't really match, but like they did match. It was just like I just had so many of these reference images on my other monitor while I was creating this, and I sort of mashed them all together to create what you can see here. And I'm going to be honest, this is a really nice apartment. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks wonderful. I love the vibe of it. I love the entire color scheme. Like we went with blues, pinks, yellows, oranges, creams, pops of white, and there's fairy lights in here. There's lots of plants, which if you are familiar with my content, you will know that I cannot resist putting plants in my Sims builds. So this apartment was no exception at all. And so I'm really pleased with it. Truly, honestly. So please let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. It took me a little bit of time to get the core, what I would class as the core items down, such as the sofas, the rug, the coffee table, even the curtains to a certain extent, although I did end up just leaving these as they were. The layered curtains, I thought they looked really nice, so I did leave them there. But yeah, I think the sofas were a bit of a challenge. Sorry, the reference images I was looking on Pinterest, the majority of them did have these sort of big fluffy cream sofas, and so I knew that going into this I would be using a cream sofa and then kind of decorating it with some of the decorative cushions and things like that, and then obviously adding other colours through different decor pieces in this room as well. It did end up turning out really nicely. Like I said, it just took me a little bit of time to get going with it, I think because I felt not uncomfortable with the style. This is a style that I'm very comfortable with, but usually when I do apartments, I don't use reference images. I'll just sort of like load into the game and see where my creativity takes me on that particular day. But with this, because I knew that I was wanting to go for a certain style, I really wanted to try and use as many reference images as possible to try and achieve the look that we ended up going for with this, and it just made me really happy that that was a decision that I decided to make at that time. But yeah, this is where we start adding the decorative throw pillows. So as you can see, we've used a baby pink, we've used a teal, and also a cream. One thing I was noticing about these reference images in particular were that they didn't really have any cushions on the sofa that necessarily matched one another. So while I've got two obviously pink cushions on the main sofa, I did make one smaller than the rest. I just thought that added just a little bit of something. I don't know whether that's going to annoy some people or whether some people might find that really nice. I just think it just adds that touch more realism to the space, you know? And as I said at the beginning, we do add a lot of plants in this build, which is my wheelhouse. That is my jam. That is where I thrive. We all know I absolutely adore adding plants to my builds, and so when I saw these reference images, I was like, oh, this is right up my street, because the amount of plants that were in these spaces, I was just like, oh, they look so pretty though as well, and just everything was just so like warming and organic and like welcoming, but also really lived in. It was full of personality and colour, and oh my goodness, it was absolutely insane. Insanely gorgeous, that is. Now, it's really interesting because my decor style in real life definitely is not as saturated as this. My decor style in real life, I wouldn't say it's muted as such. I think, like I'm saying this while I'm sat in my office, and I would say my office is definitely the most colourful room in our house. I've got like my neon lights, there's fairy lights in here, like I've got so much lighting going on in this space. I've got like a lava lamp. This is like my geeky room, my geeky space, so I was really able to just do whatever I wanted to with this room, and obviously I was able to do that in the rest of my house as well. But I think yeah, my decor style for the rest of my house definitely is not, it's not overly colourful. Like our house has a very, very solid theme of like a deep royal blue. Even down to our kitchen cabinets, they're the same colour as the feature wall in our bedroom. Just because I've spoken about this on the channel, even if I've just touched upon it, it just gives the house a really nice sense of like flow. If you're walking through the house, I don't know if I'm making any sense. And I love that I'm talking about my house in real life and not the apartment that I'm currently working on in The Sims. But anyway, I digress. So for those of you who did not see, I did add a little book, like this stack of books that's just on the side table there. They now function as a bookshelf, so your Sims can actually grab the book from there instead of from the bookshelf that's currently behind this sofa. Because as I was saying, I'm pretty sure that sofa will have made the bookshelf unusable for your Sims, but it just looked so pretty and I was like, I can't not put that there because it looks so good. So that's the reason I did that. Then I had a little bit of trouble with this particular area of the living room. I knew I wanted to add a TV in here. I initially thought, well, let's just add a TV on a TV unit. That makes sense. And then I remembered that we have like the frame TVs. Yeah, that's what the class is, isn't it? Like the TVs on the wall that look like a picture. They're called frame TVs, I'm pretty sure. And I remember that we had one of them and I did use it in my apartment renovation a couple of weeks ago. It might have even been last week at this point, whenever it was. And I decided to use that in this apartment as well. So you'll just see me, there we are, we've pulled it out. I've realised, I'm like, oh yes, I'll use this instead. It just fit with the vibe so much better than the other TV. And I'm so glad that the team have decided to add these TVs in The Sims now. Like they're so pretty and I've started to use them more and more. I'm definitely getting more comfortable with them. So I'd really like one for my house in real life actually. For our living room, we have been pricing it up. They are quite expensive, but our TV is quite old now. And so I think my husband and I are both just like, well, we should just get a new TV. So maybe we'll treat ourselves at the end of the year or something. I don't know. Anyway, apart from a few minor changes and additional touches, the living room area is pretty much done. Now, one thing to note about this apartment is that there isn't actually a dining space. There isn't a dining table. So your Sim, I envisioned a single Sim living here. So I didn't think it really mattered that there wasn't a dining space. Like in real life, not everyone has a big, huge like space where they're able to have like a separate dining area. And so I was like, I don't think it really matters. But obviously if you did want to add a table in here, I'm pretty sure you could try and squeeze one in somewhere. You could probably remove some of the decorative pieces. So like, for example, the plants and the chair that are near this window, just on the left hand side of the fridge, I think you could potentially remove them and add a small dining table. That could definitely work as well. Then I went back and changed the rug to my tried, trusted and true favourite from Growing Together. And then I wanted to try and do something with these lights from Businesses and Hobbies because I have not been able to make these work as of yet, really, in a build. And then I was like, I give up. So you'll see me placing them down and then I remove them. So I just wanted to show the process because I think it's important to know that like when you're building or decorating a space for your Sims, it's not something that comes super easily all the time. I definitely am a very indecisive person, so I will go back and make changes. I'll make so many changes. Like, so for example, the lights that I was referring to in the ceiling over the coffee table, I changed the swatch of them to the pink, orange and blue because it just tied in better with the whole colour scheme rather than just having the solid blue one. Then I decided that this Sim needs a fan because I'm on a bit of a kick with summer themed builds. This summer, I touched upon this in another video where I explained that I do autumnal style builds and I'll do festive builds, so like wintry, festive Christmas builds. And then in the spring and summer, I just do like generic builds. So I thought this year would be a really good opportunity to sort of think, well, what summery builds can we do? I want to do a beach house this summer. This apartment's super summery, I think. I did a summer themed craftsman Why did it take me 2 goes to say craftsman? Style family home just a few days ago. So yes, expect some more summery builds on the channel for sure. And I think this definitely sort of fits that vibe as well. Now, one thing to note here, I do end up changing things up ever so slightly. So the fan moves and goes into the corner of the living room, because what I end up doing is I end up putting like a half open door just on that archway, and I think it looks, there it is, you can see it now. It just looks so cool. It adds another detail there, and I really liked how that looked. So that's just something else that's changed. So I just thought that was worth mentioning. So we've now pretty much done with the living and kitchen area, and now we just decorate this hallway here. This is a big hallway space. I actually, oh my goodness, I forgot to mention the creator's name, that I found their floor plan for this apartment and I copied it like exactly, and it's by a creator called Colour and Space. I will link the Pinterest post down below so that if you want to check out their stuff on there, they post amazing floor plans and just generally amazing content. So I need to make that clear that this floor plan is not my idea at all. So, and it's a floor plan that I haven't explored in this particular unit, and I just thought it was so wonderful and it fit with exactly what I wanted to achieve with today's build and today's video. So thank you so much, Colour and Space. You are a genius. You are a genius. So yes, anyway, hallway, very big space, but I really like that about this apartment. So if you were walking in here in real life, you would just be greeted with this big, colourful, fun, functional space. It's quite cluttered, yes. I felt the need to fill up pretty much every wall, every corner, every crevice, as it were. I felt the need to fill up, but I think it works really well. I think it fits with the rest of the apartment as well. And then we very quickly furnish the bathroom and also the laundry space. Yes, this sim does have a washer and a dryer in this apartment unit, so it's just something that I like to dabble in every now and again. I like to give my sims washer and dryers. I don't know, I like the whole laundry aspect in the game. But one thing I do end up doing here is I end up stacking the washer and the dryer, and then I move the sink to the left hand side of the washer and the dryer, and it just opened up the space a little bit more. It made more sense. My sim was able to use both the washer and the dryer, but if your sims have any problems, I would definitely recommend just deleting that wall there. As I said, I had no issues at all. But we have spoken about this on the channel before, where I've play tested something and then someone said, that's really weird, it hasn't worked for me. And I know that there's other creators that also have that same issue, so I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but it did work for me. And then the last room that we work on is the bedroom here. It's the one and only bedroom. There's one big window in here, and then the rest of the space, I definitely wanted the colour scheme to fit with the rest of the apartment. That was really important to me, so I do use the same like wall swatches. I also wanted to use this rug from Horse Ranch because I tried to use it in the living room and I was not successful, so I wanted to use it in the bedroom, and I think it complements the bed really well and just the overall colour scheme of the room itself too. This is probably the least cluttered room in this house, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. I think if I wanted to, I could have definitely added like an office space in here as well. But for some reason, I decided to give this sim a wardrobe and a chest of drawers too. I think I used the chest of drawers from high school years. That wardrobe, I'm pretty sure with the flower print on it, is from Businesses and Hobbies, if I'm not mistaken. It's really pretty. I've started to use that quite a lot in my Sims builds, and it just fit with this entire vibe of the apartment, so I was really happy with that. And then it took me a little bit of time here to try and figure out what I wanted to do with clutter, what I wanted to put on the walls, because I wanted everything to just fit in with the rest of the apartment. So it was a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to be honest, but I think it looks okay. It's definitely not my favourite room of the apartment, but it does work. It's a functional space, and I do really like how it looks. I also remembered to leave a laundry basket in here because there's a washer and dryer on the lot. So without a laundry basket, your Sims would just be chucking their clothes absolutely everywhere. But anyway, we are at the end of the video now, so I really hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to download this build, it's available from the gallery. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just below. You can get them from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. I hope you have the most amazing weekend ever. I will talk to you all very, very soon. You all take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!